This is a 2010 Kubota RTV 500 series. It's a 4x4 side-by-side. It's got about 500 hours on it, I guess. This is fuel injected. I think it's about 15 horsepower. It needs the fluids and filters changed on it. That's the air filter. Make sure the drain's pointing at 6 o'clock toward the bottom. It's got a top rig on the one up there. It says top. Before you take the drain plug loose to remove the hydrostatic transmission fluid out of it, take this vent cap off so it can displace the fluid with air. Good fill hold. The drain plug is underneath the back. Right there's the drain plug on the bottom. It's got like a trapezoid shaped skid plate under it. An 1 1/16 socket fits it. Took a screwdriver and scraped all the mud out from around it. I'm going to catch it in this drain pan. It's a HST fluid, hydrostatic fluid. Just about run out of drain pan. I think this system holds 2.2 US gallons, 2.26, something like that. I bought a 2.5 gallon container of HST hydrostatic fluid off of Kubota dealership. I set the back tires up on 4-inch blocks. Give me a little clearance underneath of this thing. When you pull your drain plug, let all that oil drain out, then go ahead and change your filters because they are part of the reservoir that holds oil. If you take the filter loose after you refill this, your HST fluid will run out the filter hole. That's the oil cooler filter. So put your oil filter strap wrench on there and break it loose. Wipe the dirt off the face of that. I'm going to go ahead and pre-fill this oil filter with the hydrostatic fluid. I pre-lubed this filter half full with the HST transmission fluid. So it mounts on its side, you don't want to fill it clear out. I'll put some fresh oil on the O-ring. It's ready to install. Give it a turn plus a quarter turn. Just make sure it's really difficult to back it off by hand. It's locked on good. Alright, it's time for the transmission filter. Make sure your fluid's drained out. This is part of the reservoir for the fluid. Looks like the filter went to a color change. Oh well. I pre-filled this filter for the transmission. Now it's time to fill the transmission back up with 2.2 gallons of synthetic UDT fluid from Kubota. Yep, there's 2.5 gallons of it. Pour down this hole. There's a dipstick right beside it for the transmission. And here's a dipstick for the engine oil. The engine oil, the transmission fluid. I'll start it off with 2 gallons. 2.2 gallons was the target. I got the back end up in the air, but it's about 1/8 inch from being full. It'll level off when I set it back down. I'll put this mesh screen back in there. You gotta put it in slow, it splatters if you don't. Change the fluid, I put it in forward and reverse a couple times, and it's staying 3/4 full. That's a target. Oil filter is located on the driver's side, just to the corner of the driver's side rear wheel, inside corner, on the back of the engine. And there's a 14mm drain plug down directly below it on the skid plate. And there's the way into the oil filter. Underneath this rubber tarp on the driver's side tire. Go ahead and wipe the face off. And stick the new oil filter back on. Really can't pre-fill this oil filter because it mounts on upside down, but I did wetten it down a little bit and put some new oil on the O-ring so it'll seal properly. This one says 3/5 of a turn. One, two, three. I think I'll give it a little more than that. Rather be a little extra tight than come loose. Got a good bite on it now. There's where the motor wheel goes. I think it holds under 2 quarts. We'll see. It held exactly 1 quart and 1/2 of a quart. Doesn't seem like very much. Oh, whatever. It's full now. Just a little bit over full until it started up and fill the filter up. There's a grease fitting there. I'll grease it. I'm on the passenger side. The overflow bottles and the radiator caps just below the data information stickers. There's a radiator cap underneath this flap. You can take it off and check and make sure there's antifreeze. This was about 1/2 quart down in it. I filled it back up. And I'm going to put a little over 1/2 quart in the reserve tank to get it back up to the full mark. It was about empty. It should be flushed every 2 years offhand, drained out, changed. I'm going to take a pen and write RAD here so the owners will know to check it there. Check your filters for any oil leaks and check your levels for being full. Good to go. That's ready to go back home.